Good evening to you. I'm Meteorologist Meg Ryan, and I know why you're here. You want to know, is it really going to snow? Hopefully by the end of this, I'll have a good answer for you based on where you live. Take a look at the satellite radar composite right now. We saw a good bit of sunshine today, but we're starting to see some of those clouds build up. So we do have the possibility of snow, wintry weather for tomorrow. And this setup is different than what we had on Friday. So this system, this is what we're watching right here. This is what we call an Alberta Clipper, or Clipper for short. It's an area of low pressure that quickly moves across the United States. This is what's headed our way, and that's going to give us our winter weather chances for tomorrow. We've had these systems in the past. The challenge with them is they have a tendency to be pretty dry. So by the time they reach us, there's usually not a lot of moisture with them. And so we don't typically get a lot of snow accumulations with this. So we do have winter weather advisories. Now, our area is actually governed by 3 different National Weather Service offices. So Blacksburg, Virginia, they monitor Wilkes, Yadkin, Surrey, Stokes, Rockingham, Caswell, Patrick, and Henry County. Your winter weather advisory is a 24-hour one. It begins at 1 a.m. tonight and goes until 1 a.m. on Tuesday. For those of us who are under the Raleigh office, that's going to be Forsyth, Guilford, and Alamance, our winter weather advisory begins at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning and goes until noon on Tuesday because we are concerned about some refreezing for Tuesday morning with temperatures really cold. So black ice, a concern on Tuesday morning. But let's talk about tomorrow. So the impact of this is going to be another short system, just like Friday. This is going to be a less than a 12-hour event. So the impact time, morning to afternoon, around 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. What you can expect, we're going to start off with some rain, just plain rain at the beginning. Then we're going to get that rain-snow mix. And then eventually, I do think it's going to transition to all snow towards the end. Our biggest concern with this are going to be for slick spots on the road. With this system, though, most of the accumulation is going to be on grassy surfaces, also places like mailboxes, the tops of cars, and unfortunately some decks and steps as well. In terms of the roads, I think for the most part is going to melt when it hits the ground. We could get some of these bursts of heavy snow, which can overcome the warmer asphalt temperatures and cause some accumulations. So we could see some of those slick spots in areas where you get one of those bursts of snow. So let's take you hour by hour. Let's time this out. So 7 a.m. tomorrow, most of us are looking at rain. Up in the mountains, they're seeing the snow. Up along the Virginia border, they're seeing snow as well. Notice temperatures well above freezing. However, our flow is out of the northwest. This is going to be bringing in cold air, and so we're actually going to watch temperatures drop throughout the day. So on the onset, we're just looking at rain because just a little bit too warm. But notice as temperatures drop, that snow line also drops. Something else that's really interesting here is that pink line is very narrow. So we had the snow, we had the rain, and this is that kind of freezing rain, sleet line, and it's very narrow. So it's going to be a big change between who gets the snow and who doesn't. So by about 9 o'clock, we're seeing heavier snow falling. But again, my concern is because this system is coming from the northwest, I'm very concerned that this is overdoing it. I worry that the air is just going to be a little bit too dry, and a lot of this is going to evaporate before it hits the ground, or it's really going to limit how much that we actually see. So by 11 a.m., most of this has changed over to all snow at this point. Again, accumulations are going to be based on how fast it falls, based on where you live. That rain snow line has moved further down to the south. It's a little bit colder, and it continues to be colder. So by 1 o'clock, temperatures, there we are, at freezing, but notice we're getting these pockets in. This is that dry air really mixing in. It's going to start to cut off the snow falling, and then as the system quickly moves out, more of that dry air. So the challenge with the system, not only is it coming from the northwest, which means it's drier to begin with, But this is the same problem we had on Friday. This is what we don't want when it comes to snow. We have the cold air chasing the moisture. Usually these situations don't work out very well. It's very hard to get snow in these situations. So we're looking at the model. So here's the European model. I'm gonna go ahead and put the GFS on here as well. European model, a little bit more conservative. You can see this horizontal rain snow line, snow up above, rain below. GFS much more aggressive, that rain snow line much further down to the south. Also notice these purple colors. They're showing heavier intensities in terms of how much snow falls. GFS is being very aggressive. The European model's holding back a little bit more. If we put numbers on these, here's your GFS. They're saying about 1.5, 2 inches. I think this is overdone. What these models have a tendency to overlook is just how dry these clipper systems are in the Piedmont Triad. European, between about half up to an inch of rain overall, and then you can compare that to the NAM and the graph as well. So we're looking at the models. They want to see around an inch or so of snow. That's going to be challenging. So here is our forecast here at WFMY News 2. We look at all the models. We use our own experience from living here for so many years and seeing storm after storm and what works and what doesn't. So based on this system, here's what we think is going to happen. Right along I-40, so this white band here, that's going to be traced to an inch. So I know this is less than what you saw the models, but this comes with experience. I don't think we're going to see a ton. The further you go up to the north, the more snow you're going to see. So where you see the lighter blue, that's going to be 1 to 2 inches, and then up to 2, 3 inches where you see that darker blue, which is going to be those higher elevations, and further up into Virginia. South of the Triad, Davidson County, Randolph County, I'm sorry, this is not going to be a good snowmaker for you. You're going to see a lot more rain than snow with this system. So here's what you can expect. We're going to start off with rain, mix to that snow-rain combo, and then eventually change it over to all snow by around midday, lasting for a couple of hours into the afternoon. You have a good chance of seeing some snowflakes in the air at least. Accumulations are going to be tricky. Light accumulation, grasses, elevated surfaces, bridges and overpasses as always, but not as much on the roadways. However, if we get melting overnight, Monday night into Tuesday morning is looking at temperatures in the low 20s. So black ice is a concern for Tuesday morning, and that is why the National Weather Service office in Raleigh has their winter weather advisory go into Tuesday at lunch because of the concern for that black ice on Tuesday morning. So for tomorrow, we're going to start off rain, temperatures in the mid-30s. We're going to watch temperatures drop throughout the day. We saw that on Friday as well. The difference here is I think the cold air is going to come in faster and stronger and meet up with the moisture, and that is why we had that rain snow mix early on. And then I do think we will transition to all snow a little bit before lunchtime and lasting for a couple of hours. And again, Tuesday morning, watch for the black ice. So in our ideal situation, we get the cold air that comes from the northwest. We actually have this in the scenario. The best snowmakers for us, though, is when the moisture comes out of the south. We get that Gulf moisture, and it mixes with that cold air. This is not that scenario. This is that clipper coming out of the northwest. They have a tendency to be dry, and that makes me concerned for snowfall accumulations for tomorrow. It has been cold though. We have been below average really for the past 7 days, and Friday and Saturday we only saw highs in the low 40s. Today was an interesting day. We had all that fog this morning, a chilly start, low 20s, but because we saw the sunshine, that actually warmed us up into the mid 40s. So that also means that the ground temperatures are a little bit warmer, including the asphalt, and that can limit how much accumulation we get on the roadways. So officially we made it up to 46 37 after a morning low of 26. Our average high for this time of the year is 54 degrees. Right now, this Greensboro is 34 degrees. I do anticipate temperatures to go up a little bit before they start to dive tomorrow throughout the day. Already below freezing in Burlington. Right now it is 30 degrees. So here's what you can expect. Overnight tonight, we're going to see those clouds increase, and around daybreak, that's when we're going to introduce that chance of the light rain. So throughout the morning, that rain will change to a mix of snow and rain before transitioning to all snow, and temperatures as a high of 37 degrees. So tomorrow is our weather impact alert day for that 70% chance of that rain and snow. For Tuesday morning, 21 degrees in the morning, so please be mindful of black ice if you're doing any traveling going to work on Tuesday morning, 38 in the afternoon. Wednesday, our only day in the 50s, 52 in the afternoon, and then we're down into the 40s for the rest of the week.